I am working in an instance of Camtasia 2024. I've loaded a short track capture that represents a sample tutorial that I want to produce. This track capture was originally narrated by myself. I want to replace my narration with AI-generated voice. I'll do this by creating a transcript of the current narration using screencast.com, and I'll use Windows Read Aloud in Microsoft Word to convert that text to audio, which I will capture using Camtasia Recorder in system audio only mode. I'll then substitute the original narration audio with the new capture, being careful to adjust the timing of the original video to match the new audio. I'll point out that there are some markers in this particular project. What I did was scrub through and listen and find places where I could break up the original narration into logical sections, being careful to preserve any screen action associated with a narration section, enclosing it within a marker segment. I did that in this case for 3 separate segments. I'll also point out that I have added some effects to this media, particularly cursor effects, and most importantly, a clip speed effect. The clip speed effect will be used to change the duration of a section of the original capture to match the new audio that we're going to create using Windows Read Aloud. To begin, I'll break up the original capture with splits at the appropriate markers. So we'll navigate to the second marker, select the clip, and use the S key to add a split there. Control right bracket puts me after the next marker, select S key, adds a split. I'll send the playhead back home. Next thing I'm going to do is add each one of these sections to the library as a separate asset. So I'll select the first section, and then I'll Control Shift A, send it to the library. I'm putting it in a little library I call Read Aloud Segments. And I'm going to name this section 01, Enter key. So it's now in the library. I'll navigate to the next one, select it, same drill, Control Shift A. I'll call this 02, Enter key. And we'll go to the next marker, select it, Control Shift A, 03, Enter key. I now have the 3 segments in the library as a separate asset. At this point, I'll save the project. So that's Control S, and that'll preserve the project. So when I come back with the new audio, I can put it over top the old. With the project saved, it's Control N to open a new project in Camtasia 2024. I'll use the R key to go back to the library. I'll select my first section, right-click, add it to the timeline. And what I want to do now is export this as is directly to screencast.com. And I'm going to do that because I have a Screencast Pro account, and when I share to Screencast, the application will auto-generate closed captions and create a transcript of those captions. And I'm after the transcript. So with the clip on the timeline, export screencast.com, and I'll call this 01, Enter key. Okay, that's up there now. I'll go back to my project, delete that, select my next segment, right-click, add it to the timeline, and same drill, export, screencast. I'll call this 02, Enter key. And that one's being uploaded. We'll go back to the project again. Delete what's on the timeline, select the third segment, right click, add it to the timeline. As before, export, screencast, and I'll call this 03, enter key. Okay, that starts the process of processing all those videos on screencast, and at the end of their processing, or as part of it, a transcript for the audio will be created. After a short wait to allow all the processing to complete, I go back into Screencast website, and I'm going to take a look at the first video in the collection. I'll click it. And this is the first segment we uploaded. Notice that there's a transcript available. I'll click that, bring it up, and I'm going to select all that text. Control C puts it on my clipboard. Then I'm going to go to an open instance of Notepad++. Control V, paste it, and then I'm going to send the cursor back up to the beginning, Control Home. Now I'm going to use a couple of macros to clean this up. So I'll go to Macro, and I have a couple that I can run multiple times. I'll select that. First one I'm going to use is called Clear Transcript, and what it's going to do is it's going to remove the time hacks and the blank lines that they represent when they're removed from this. I'm going to run it to the end of the file, and I'll click Run. Notice how all the time hacks are now gone. I have another macro called Merge Text, and I'm going to once again make sure that the cursor is at the top, and then I'm going to execute Merge Text to the end of the file. I'll click Run, and I probably have to hit this runtime a couple of times. And what I've done is I've put all of that text into a single paragraph. With that complete, it's Control A to select the text. Control C puts that on my clipboard. Then I'll navigate to an open instance of Microsoft Word. I'm going to use the Enter key once to give me a line down, then Control V, paste that text there. I'll point out that I've already activated Read Aloud. I did that by using Control Alt Space key, and I can close this, and then Control Alt Space key starts it up again. In looking at this, I see one error here I want to correct, and that is I have a duplicate 2 too. So having fixed that, I'll put the cursor back at the beginning here, and then I'm going to play Read Aloud and listen to this text. So let's see how it sounds.
I'm working in an instance of Media Collection Links Manager, and I've navigated to the record set related to my climate videos currently hosted on YouTube.
Okay, that sounds real good. To get ready for the next step, I'll send the cursor back home so it's at the beginning of this text. Next, I'm going to open an instance of Camtasia 2025's Recorder. I'm using the 2025 Recorder for this tutorial because I'm actually recording this as I talk using Camtasia 2024 Recorder. So anyway, this is the user interface for 2025's Recorder. I don't need to record the screen or the microphone, but I do want to record system audio. And with system audio, the only thing we're capturing, I'll give the focus back to Word, and I'll make sure that the cursor is back at the beginning, and then I'll start the capture in Recorder 2025, and then I'll play Read Aloud.
I'm working in an instance of Media Collection Links Manager, and I've navigated to the record set related to my climate videos currently hosted on YouTube.
All right, that's good, and I'm going to save this capture. I'm going to call this A for the first segment. Enter key. I will repeat that process for the remaining 2 video segments that we sent up to screencast.com. In each case, doing a system audio capture with recorder, and I'll save these as segment B and segment C respectively. I've reopened the original project in Camtasia 2024, and I've imported those 3 segments of Read Aloud audio. I'm going to select the first one, number A, and I'm going to add it on top of the first segment here. So that's right, add. And I'm going to trim it. And notice that it plays a lot faster than the original. That's because its voice is much faster than mine. I'm going to next turn on the magnetic track here. That'll help me keep the rest of these guys pulled down. Because what I'm going to do is open up the tray here and drag down the clip speed until I match where the audio ends. And to make it easier, let's pull this up a little bit. Now I'm going to collapse the tray, select the original clip, and let's turn off the audio by setting its gain to 0. And now I'll play this first segment.
I'm working in an instance of Media Collection Links Manager, and I've navigated to the record set related to my climate videos currently hosted on YouTube.
Okay, that sounded real good. With the playhead ready for the second one, I'll repeat that process. I'll go to the second clip, number B, right-click, add it to the timeline at the playhead. Again, I'll do a little trimming here. Drag it down. Ending is not so much overhang. Once again, open up my tray, and then I'm going to drag down the clip so it matches the duration of the new audio. And I'll collapse that. Clip selected. I'm going to kill the gain. And now I'll play it and see how it sounds.
To navigate to a record associated with a specific video, open this drop-down and locate the video you're interested in the drop-down. For this example, we'll go to what causes ice ages. Select that. We navigate there.
Okay, ready to do the last one. So we'll drag down C, put it on the timeline, and we'll trim it. Bring this down, trim off a little of this end, and to make it even easier to match this, I'm going to raise this track height for a little bit. Now if I open up my tray, I can see where my clip ends, and we'll drag him down. There we are. Close the tray. Clip selected, so we'll kill the game. And now we'll play and listen.
To view the video with that record highlighted in the links column, just click the Enter key on your keyboard. The Earth has only experienced turn off the speaker, and that...
Okay, the only thing I need to do is take care of this auto-generated audio here where we picked up comments related to the original capture. Let's see what happens.
The Earth has only experienced turn off.
Alright, so we want to get rid of this.
The Earth has only experienced...
Alright, so I'm going to drag this down so it doesn't sound so loud. Let's see what happens here.
Just click the Enter key on your keyboard. The Earth has only experienced turn off the speaker, and that video will start to play.
Okay, that pretty much wraps up the process that needed to convert a longer capture with human voice narration into a better sounding avatar voice narration, where the avatar voice was created by Windows Read Aloud. Now here's that capture with the original narration. I'm working in an instance of Media Collection Links Manager, and I've navigated to the record set related to my climate videos currently hosted on YouTube. To navigate to a record associated with a specific video, open this drop down and locate the video you're interested in the drop down. For this example, we'll go to What Causes Ice Ages. Select that. We navigate there. To view the video with that record highlighted in the links column, just click the Enter key on your keyboard.
The Earth has only experienced...
Turn off the speaker, and that video will start to play. Now here's that same capture after the avatar voice substitution.
I'm working in an instance of Media Collection Links Manager, and I've navigated to the record set related to my climate videos currently hosted on YouTube. To navigate to a record associated with a specific video, open this drop-down and locate the video you're interested in the drop-down. For this example, we'll go to What Causes Ice Ages. Select that. We navigate there. To view the video with that record highlighted in the links column, just click the Enter key on your keyboard. The Earth has only experienced. Turn off the speaker, and that video will start to play.